Good morning this morning, and welcome to a big time Ohio State recruiting update video for all of you. Do us a big favor, smash that like button. Make sure you're subscribed to the show, ring the bell, get notified when we go live. We go live 4 times a week, 8 o'clock Eastern, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. We also drop new videos like this one on your lap almost every single day. Make sure that you ring the bell so that you don't miss one of them. And make sure you comment down in the comment section below. That helps that old pesky algorithm out as well. Good to see each and every single one of you this Saturday morning. We have previewed or at least discussed every position group at Ohio State when it comes to the 2026 recruiting class, except for one. That day's today. Plus, we have a huge update on several other positions that I want to go over with you at the end of this show. But let's go ahead and talk about tight end today. Ohio State already has one tight end committed. I do believe that they're searching for a second tight end. We're going to talk about that. Who could it be? Who will it not be? Let's discuss that. Let's dive into it right now. Let's talk about Ohio State's committed tight end for the 2026 class to begin this video. Corbin Fordham, a 6'3.5", 215-pound Jacksonville, Florida athlete from the Bulls High School. He's ranked as the 22nd highest tight end in the class of 2026, according to 247 Sports. Composite ranking, he's ranked 460th nationally, and he's the 68th highest ranked recruit in the state of Florida. He committed to Ohio State over Alabama, Auburn, Miami, and a host of others, and he did so earlier this year. His official visit to Ohio State is scheduled on May 30th. It's the only official visit that he currently has scheduled. And like I said, he committed to Ohio State pretty early on, so actually committed to Ohio State last year in November of 2024. So he's been hanging with the class. Now, usually when we talk about Florida recruits, it's something that Chris and I have grown accustomed to. A lot of these guys commit, decommit, and then flip to a Florida school late in the process. I don't think that's necessarily the case with Corbin. So we'll see if Ohio State is going to hold on to him. I feel pretty confident that he's going to do exactly that. Now, moving on to one of the highest ranked recruits in the class. Of course, we're talking about modern day high schools. Mark Bowman, and he's ranked as the number one overall composite tight end in the 247 sports rankings. He's number 14th nationally. He's third highest ranked recruit in the state of California. This is a big time recruit, 6'4.5", 225 pounds. As far as the schools that are after him, he has four official visits scheduled, including Texas, USC, Georgia, and Oregon. Ohio State is not in the mix currently. However, what makes this recruitment very interesting is the school he's coming from. That's the same high school as one Chris Henry Jr., Kalen Dixon Wyatt, the most recent commitment to the Ohio State class of 2026. Those wide receivers are obviously teammates, and they're teammates with Mark as well. And so there is a little bit of a rumbling out there that maybe they can get him to check out Ohio State, come with them to Columbus. We'll see. Seems like that's not necessarily where he's leaning at this time, but that's what does make this recruitment a little bit interesting as we get into the latter parts of the push for the 2026 class. Let's talk next about Max Suter. So the big Illinois tight end is 6'5", 230 from Dunlap, Illinois. He's a top 100 recruit, currently ranked 86 in the composite, sixth highest ranked tight end in the class, number one recruit in the state of Illinois. His recruitment is going to boil down to 5 schools, it looks like: Illinois, Ole Miss, Ohio State, Penn State, and Alabama. He already took his official visit to the home state of Illinois. Later this month, he will check out Ole Miss as well as Ohio State, and then he has official visits scheduled to Penn State and Alabama. The experts say that he's a lean to Alabama with a slight don't forget about the home state of Illinois. I say don't forget about Ohio State on this one. Keenan Bailey's on the job. This is, I think, his number one target here. And Ohio State's going to pull out all the stops to try to get him into the 2026 class. While they are happy with Corbin Fordham, and by the way, Chris and I are incredibly much higher on Corbin than a lot of other recruiting experts are. This guy would be a massive get for Ohio State if they could pull him off as well. I got one more guy I want to talk about in this video, and it's a local kid. It's an Ohio kid, someone who I don't think is getting quite the love that a lot of that he should be, and that is Braden Fogel. 6'3", 225 pounds. Of course, he plays in Lexington High School, Lexington, Ohio. That school should sound familiar to you. That's because Caden Stover played his high school ball in Lexington as well. As far as Braden is concerned, his recruitment has taken kind of a boost here lately. He's been offered from Ole Miss and Auburn and Georgia and Michigan, and he has official visits scheduled May 30th, Auburn, June 6th, Georgia, June 13th, Michigan. Ohio State doesn't seem to be interested in this one. However, you always kind of have to kind of play it by ear. He has been to Ohio State. I think if Ohio State were to swing back around and 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 kind of put some more interest in Braden, especially if Mac doesn't work out, maybe they can pull this one around. I'd hate to see him go to Ann Arbor. This feels very much like a Jake Butt situation to me, where Ohio State kind of ignores him. He's not as highly recruited. He ends up going to Ann Arbor and being a huge thorn in our side. So we'll see what Ohio State does here. But he's got good size, great athleticism, two-sport athlete, just like Cade was. Plays football and basketball. Feels very much like a Cade Stover type of athlete here. Love to see Ohio State make a push for him, but doesn't appear to be that that's going to be the situation here. So, looking at an overview of the tight ends here, Corbin Fordham, he's in the class already in 2026. Mark Bowman, I put him, somewhere around 20%. Let's see if KDW and Chris Henry Jr. can get him interested to at least do a visit in Columbus. Max Suter feels like he's the one that they're focused in on, although the experts are giving Ohio State a very slim chance here. They're saying it looks like it's going to be kind of a Bama versus Illinois thing here. Is it going to be, hey, does he want to go to the big school in Bama and compete, or does he want to stay at home and be a superstar in Illinois? I say don't forget about Ohio State. I think Ohio State can make a late push here. And then, of course, Braden Fogel, the local in-state product, who, again, doesn't seem to be like there's a ton of interest from Ohio State. We'll see. Maybe they come back around, and if they do, will it be too little too late? Or is there not something there between Braden and Ohio State? Does he not want to be a Buckeye? Do the Buckeyes not really want him? Is there something I don't know about? Maybe. If you do, let me know in the comments section below. Before we jump into the rest of this morning's video and go over a few other recruiting tidbits that I know, let's take a look at this morning's scripture verse, Romans 15:4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we, through patience and comfort of the Scripture, might have hope. Hope that this Scripture brings you joy and hope this morning, and may you consider going to a place of worship this weekend. All right, let's take a look at our offensive line recruiting currently. Maxwell Riley, Sam Greer, I'll talk about them here shortly in just a minute. They're the two big gets. Tucker Smith, the project from Glendale, Arizona. Jackson Cantwell, the number one overall recruit in the class of 2026, seems to be trending away from Michigan, which is good. I think he's going to end up being a Georgia Bulldog, if you ask me my opinion. I think it's going to come down between Georgia and the home state, Missouri. Felix Ojo, who I was pretty high on and I thought was going to be a Buckeye, is suddenly trending away from Ohio State heavily. It appears that Texas is offering him a huge NIL deal, which Ohio State obviously is unwilling to match. And therefore, it looks like Felix Ojo is going to stay in Texas, if you ask me my opinion. However, scroll a little bit down further. Let's go to Micah Smith from Vero Beach, Florida. He seems to be trending Ohio State's way and could be a commitment here rather soon to Ohio State. Keep your eye on that one. I think Micah is going to come to Ohio State on his official visit. He's going to love what he sees. He's going to commit shortly thereafter. I think Micah Smith is going to be a Buckeye when it comes to offensive line recruiting. And I told you I was going to talk about Maxwell Riley and Sam Greer. Let's do that right now. Earlier this year, when I first started the recruiting videos after the national championship game, and then we were looking forward into the 2026 recruiting, I said the top 5 must-gets from the state of Ohio were number 5, Jacob Weatherspoon, who was committed already at the time. Number 4, Sam Greer, who was trending towards Clemson, ends up committing to Ohio State. Linebacker Sincere Johnson, who I think could be the next recruit to commit to Ohio State. If not the next, he will be this summer. I think he's as good as gold to be a Buckeye, if you ask me my opinion. Um, Elbert Hill, the cornerback, ends up committing to USC. I think that ship has sailed. I don't even think Ohio State's got a prayer here. I think Elbert Hill is going to be a Trojan. Maxwell Riley, the number 1 overall recruit in the state of Ohio, if you ask me my opinion, he was the absolute must get. Ohio State got him. Maxwell Riley committed to Ohio State. So if you're keeping track at home, they were 3 of 5, and then they're 0 and 1 with Elbert Hill, excuse me. So, and then they're still the jury's still out on Sincere Johnson. So, if you ask me my opinion, if they go 4 or 5, they bat 80, they shoot 80%, if you will. That's pretty good to get 4 out of those 5 guys. Of course, you always want them to go 5 of 5. In today's recruiting environment and atmosphere, probably not going to be the case anymore. Which is odd when you think Ohio State coming off a national championship, top 5 guys in the state of Ohio probably all want to be Buckeyes. Not necessarily the case anymore. So if you get Riley, Johnson, Greer, and Witherspoon, I'm okay with that. I would have loved to have gotten Hill. I'm a huge fan of his game. I think he would have translated really well at Ohio State. Doesn't mean he won't at one point be a Buckeye in today's crazy transfer portal world. But yeah, I think the ship has sailed on him. Now that we are in this weird kind of transitioning and closing out and all these recruits who are going to be committing in the next couple months, I'll be putting out another top 5 must-gets list. I'm going to be putting out a top 5 recruits who I think Ohio State are going to get. It doesn't really matter where they're from. I'll put out another top 5 in the state of Ohio that I think Ohio State is interested in. We'll see if there's even 5 at that point. And then I'll put out a top 5 must-gets from nationally for Ohio State. So be on the lookout for those videos in the future. Enjoy your day, everybody. Have a great Saturday. I'm going to go meet up with one of our listeners in Marion, Ohio. Go meet some former Buckeyes who I'm friends with. Have a good time with them. Be on the lookout for that. Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern, is our discussion roundtable live here at the OHIO podcast. Special guest Mika. We're going to be talking more about recruiting. A lot of recruiting this weekend because it's the recruiting season. It only makes sense to bring Mika on if we're going to talk some recruiting. Don't miss that. Plus, we got a great topic for tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody. Enjoy this beautiful weather we're going to have in Ohio today. It's going to be absolutely perfect. You're going to love it. Sunshine, 73, slight breeze. This is sit on the back porch, smoke a cigar type of day if you're Bogsy. Enjoy your day, everybody. More content coming your way here at the OHIO podcast. Let me know what you think about what I think down in the comment section below. Till next time, Remember to be kind with each other. I owe someone's OH in Carmen, Ohio with all your heart. Go Bucks.